Good morning, my dear people, artists and not artists. Although I think we are all artists in some way, in some area of life. So every of my works is paired together with a quote. And me recording myself and sharing something with you, it's pretty much like an artwork. I'm just not using the image, although I'm using the image as well. It's behind me, you can see the image. But it's more about using my voice, my words, and so on. But it's still kind of sharing something. It's still an artwork. So I would like to start with a quote. And the quote will be, it's not actually a quote. It's a short poem from Mary Oliver. And the book is called 1,000 Mornings. And I made this little cover for it. The sun is rising. And the little poem for today is called The Man Who Has Many Answers, which is not me. And it goes like this. The man who has many answers is often found in the theaters of information, where he offers graciously his deep findings. Sometimes that's me. And here it continues. While the man who has only questions to comfort himself makes music. And that's also me. I think I'm more often the man making music to comfort himself rather than the man with many answers in the theater of information offering his deep findings. But I think I'm both. I'm kind of circulating between someone who's offering answers and someone who, to comfort himself, plays music. I have a piano here. I have a little guitar here. This is actually one of the guitars I built myself. While I was studying in art school, I was, apart from art, like after hours, I was going to a workshop and using all the tools to build those little guitars. But yeah, today's topic will be different. So I wanted to give you a little update, things I observed over the last month or so, a little bit more. Basically from the moment of the exhibition to now, because it was a very interesting time. And as you know, each of my artworks is representing, you can say, my internal state at the moment. And at the same time, it's kind of archetypal moment in our internal journey we all going through. So if we think about each work being, I would call it a small ritual. I'm doing a ritual, and through that ritual of creation, something is revealed and I know more than before. And this information comes to me in form of the image. Sometimes it comes in form of text, but more often the image inspires the text. And finally the image, the quote, and the text, it's like one whole. So if every image is a ritual, then collection of images and big event like an exhibition, when there are not only my works from the Mini People series, but also the objects I'm creating, also the little sculptures, poetry, texts, like everything together. I composed special sound background to make the atmosphere I wanted. I put candles everywhere, so everything together created this magical space. But also it was a ritual for me. And I think with my works, and the exhibition worked pretty much the same way, the images are coming to me to tell me something, but before I create an image, I have no idea what the message will be. Usually I have no idea what the image will be, what it will show, what it will represent. I just don't know. And that's what I like about it. It's just going into the unknown and then discovering something. If I know what I'm creating, it's the excitement is gone. Unless I'm doing some commission work and I just really enjoy then the idea, then I can still have fun. But if I'm creating to get to know myself, it's my own process of knowing myself, and also you could say my recovery process through art, then I don't know. I mean, I don't want to know where I'm going. I don't want to know what will come up, because I don't want to distract the message with my thinking, with my mind. So the exhibition itself, I often think about me and this creative force to somehow imagine their interaction. I give a form to this creative force, and I just call it the creative spirit. And creative spirit is basically this force, this thing, this spirit that tells me or pushes me to create. And it's almost like hearing a voice, and the voice is telling me it's time to do an exhibition. And I ask why, and the answer is it's time to do an exhibition. Just go and do it. And over time I learned to trust this voice. So I usually don't have many questions, or I don't question what the voice is telling me. And it's not literally the voice. It's more knowing, like inner voice. But this time the voice told me it's time to do a big ritual, and a big ritual exhibition with music, the whole space being the space of transformation. And I could really see and hear from people's opinion that the space we have created was really transforming, had this power to transform, to pull something out of people that they usually don't see, or they usually don't have a way to connect to. So it was a very intense ritual, and as usual on the path of self-discovery, what you usually discover, otherwise there would be nothing to discover, are repressed emotions. And if you do a very big ritual, there is a big chunk of those emotions just released, and then you have to face it and to somehow process it. So my experience was the following. So until the moment of the exhibition, I was just focused on the exhibition, working. There were many things, many new ideas appearing, like the creative spirit telling me, okay, but I need this thing, and also this thing, and we need this. And I'm like, okay, there is no time. We need this and this. So we had to really push. And some some ideas were appearing in the last moment, and I had to realize those ideas to make the experience a full experience the way it's supposed to be. But then, after all this intense effort and focus and so on, suddenly it all ends, because it was a pop-up exhibition, so it appears and it disappears. So it was like ritual just happens. It's very intense, and then it's over. You are transformed. It's not going on for months. I mean, some rituals may go on and on, but let's say typical ritual is something that happens quite often overnight. So you go into the darkness, you are transformed, and you come back with the rising sun, that is on the cover of this book. Anyway, when the ritual has ended, I found myself in a place of emptiness, apathy, and depression. Suddenly, kind of not knowing what to do, because previous few months were so intense and so goal driven. There was a clear goal and clear focus on it, and then suddenly it's gone, and I don't know what to do. I got lost, and at the same time a lot of sadness, mild depression, and apathy. And it's usually the moment when you meet some repressed emotions, and what you usually do, and what I did this time as well, is distract yourself. So I was just watching movies, and I was like, yeah, ritual is over. Now it's time to take a break, to rest. Not do anything. And also my creativity was gone. I had no drive to create another work. And I started to think, okay, something may be wrong. Maybe I should do something. And after a week, I tried to kind of slightly push myself to maybe work on another picture. And I created the picture, and then I found a quote, and the quote said, don't remember exactly, but it was, let me see it. Basically, it said, stand still. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. So every time I get this kind of message like this, I'm stand still, I never know what does it mean. Should I really physically stand still and do nothing, or should I mentally try to slow down but still doing things? So I tried to go with the second option. So physically still doing things, but mentally kind of trying to stand still. And what happened is, 2 days later, I got really sick, and I spent a week just laying down in bed. And then I realized, okay, I really have to stand still, just really still, not doing anything. But, you know, when you get sick, you're also slowed down mentally. So it's really difficult to focus, to think some things through. It was just kind of apathy, laying down, watching movies, distracting myself. And I think after 3 weeks from the exhibition, I started to get better. And then I got this calling from intuition or creative spirit. I heard the voice that it's time to spend time by myself. No distractions, just spending time by myself. And I remembered there is a place not far from where I live, like 3 hours drive, where there is a Buddhist center, and they have this little house you can rent, and it's a house to spend time in solitude and to meditate. And yeah, I'm gonna show you the picture. This is, yeah, let's see it outside. Outside, it looks like this. So on the top of the hill, you have this very small house. The base part is like 3 by 3 meters, and if you don't use metric system, I'm almost 2 meters high. So 1.5 meters square. That was the dimension of the base of the house. And on the top you have a little room where you can just sit down and meditate looking into space, into the mountains around you, and you are by yourself. Downstairs there is a bed, a little kitchen, and I spent 5 days here, just with my thoughts, just with my emotions, and it was beautiful time, and I really could meet with those parts of myself that were released thanks to the big ritual, the exhibition. And yeah, after 5 days I came back, and I felt like a new chapter begins. And to show you, yeah, actually what I wanted to show you, let's go back here. What I wanted to show you is the work you've already seen, but this is the work I have created after the exhibition, in the time of feeling lost, nowhere to go, or not knowing where to go. And this is exactly how I felt. So the big beautiful animal is laying down on the ground, and you don't really know whether it's dead or asleep. You don't know. What you can do is wait. You can just wait, hoping for the best. And I remember when I was creating it, I had this thought, maybe I should put a little light over the lion's head, maybe some spirit dancing somewhere. But then I thought I shouldn't suggest anything. This image should really give you the vibe of the end. Something has come to an end, and you can sit by the fire forever, or probably you have to move on. But also, you never know whether the animal is actually finally dead. So that's how I felt, and I really, really felt that picture. This was my situation back then. And then another picture appeared, and this is actually, okay, one interesting thing. This is a very old picture, and I actually was inspired by my own old picture to create the one with the dead sleeping lion. It's the same fire. But if we look at the next work, the most recent work, it's pretty much the same thing. So we have a tree, and the tree is cut down, and you can see the rope that is typical rope that is put around the sacred tree or a sacred space. So we can clearly see that the tree is a sacred tree, and now it's cut down, and there is this little spirit looking up, and two spirits on the top of the tree, or maybe released from the tree. So, and also this little ball of light to the right. This image is still a mystery to me. Still a mystery, although my one way of thinking about it is those two spirits over the tree are probably figures of parents. And my way of thinking was that maybe it was a fake sacred tree. Meaning sometimes we are idolizing parents too much. They turn into gods. Or in a way they are gods, and they try to form us according to their wish. So we have to do as we are said. And we create this kind of sacred tree for our parents inside of us, not actually seeing that it's not good. It's not good to turn your parents into gods and to give them so much control over you. So one way of thinking about this image was, it's cutting down the sacred tree, but it's not real sacred tree. But it still hurts to cut it down. But, again, this image is not clear. Maybe it is a real sacred tree that was cut down. Or maybe it's a fake sacred tree. Maybe it's a real sacred tree that my parents cut down. And I'm just looking at it, and my goal or my task here is to grieve the loss from my childhood. Because this little guy looks like a child. It's not a grown-ass man. So those two pictures are very, very mysterious. But what I also wanted to show you is that this motif of the end, coming to the end, cutting of the sacred tree, the lion dead, this motif is also something that comes back and back and back. It's a cycle. So when I look through my works and I go back, then after some time we get here to a dark cave with some weird ape sitting inside. But it wasn't a real end, but it was close to the end. But then we go even more back and we find the island of the dead, and you can see a little soul just going to the island of the dead. So this is really the end. This is like the lioness lying down. Although this is more like a ritual, because on the recent picture with the lioness, there is this feeling of loneliness. There is no one around, no spirits, nothing. And here it's dying and going to this island of the dead, but there are many spirits around. They are looking like new soul is here. Let's celebrate. Let's say hello. Let's welcome it. But it's also the end, like a different flavor, different perspective on the end. And if I go back in my works even more, I will get here, and this is also the end. There is a man lying dead inside of the cave, and the spirits are leaving him and going up. So this was again a transformation, dying of something and then being reborn. And if we go back, we get here, which is also the end. And this image is a different kind of end, or maybe the same, but I tell you what I mean. This version of the end, so again we have a boat and the water, so it's similar like the island of the dead, that the soul going to the island, and here the boat going to a shore. Maybe it's also some kind of island. And then we have the bones, and over the bones there is this spirit zebra walking around. Maybe it's a skeleton of that zebra, we don't know. And also many spirits going around, inside and out, between the bones. And also bow and arrow below. So many things to think about. But one element I wanted to turn your attention to is, it's not really on the image. It's the fact that when I was creating this specific image, I had very clear feeling that this is really the end. So I've been creating works. At that moment, it's been, I don't know, 4 years when I created this version of the end. 4 years or even more. So I'm creating constantly, and then I arrive to this work and I suddenly feel that this is the last work. I really don't have any ideas. I don't have a feeling that more ideas are coming. And I started to very seriously think about this being an actual end. Not end of my life, but of this series of the many people. Like, this is the end. This is the last picture. This is the creative spirit saying goodbye, saying it was a beautiful journey, and everything we supposed to do, we have done. Thank you very much, and see you somewhere in the future. That was my feeling. So creating this picture was really, really emotional, because I really thought this is the end. And of course it wasn't. So it's again a good metaphor for life, because in life many times we get to a place where it really thinks like the end. And, I can hear my thoughts and your thoughts probably as well, that in those moments try to rationalize and logically tell you, okay, many times we've been through something like this, but this time, this is really the end. This time there is no way out. And then there is a way out. Pretty much always. So what I wanted to show you is this cycle of repeatedly going to the end, going to the end, to the end, to the end, and then going on. And what's interesting, actually, usually after another version of the end is, maybe it's not surprising, but something new is being born. And also, if you think about yeah, let me show you something. I also had this composition. I called it Garden of Thoughts. I really like it. It's beautiful. Let me zoom out so you can see the full thing. Basically, it's a shelf. It's a bookshelf that over time grew into this. So I wasn't thinking about it as an artwork. I wasn't thinking that this is something special, and I didn't try to create it. I don't even consider it an artwork. It was just something that grew very organically, and it's just every day I'm putting something there, or moving around some stuff. I'm taking, let's say, those little totems and put them on the right side for some reason. I'm just, it's alive. And then exhibition comes, and the whole garden was cut down. So the shelf was basically empty for almost a month. Nothing there, just dust. And it was really sad to see. But it's like, you're growing something, then you have to cut it down, or cut down the fruits at least. And most of this composition I took to the exhibition and built something quite, a bit different from this. But then I'm coming back and I realize that this is the kind of composition that needs to grow. I cannot just put those things back. It needs to be something new. A new chapter, the new world. So I decided to, first of all, I decided to go to this little house and spend time in solitude. And then I came back with new energy and feeling that this is a new chapter. And then the Garden of Thoughts turned from this into this. So it's completely empty. The only thing here is the little seed. It's not little, it's quite big. And let's zoom in. This is the seed. And 2 Colombian shamans. And a little pebble from Greek island that represents an egg. So an egg and the seed. And the seed is actually brought from the jungle, from Colombia. So it's also symbolic, because my art is very much inspired by the jungle, and here is the seed of the jungle itself. So the Garden of Thoughts can grow again. And it's growing, and it's growing. And actually the Garden of Thoughts is exactly, which is also symbolic, exactly here. Not inside of my head, behind my head. So this is the shelf, and you can see on the picture here, there is only a seed and 2 shamans, and if you look behind me, there are more things. It's not clear, but you can see it's slowly growing. One element I also did to really see that new chapter has begun is something I did it without thinking too much, but then I thought about it, and probably I'm going to use it more consciously as kind of ritual. And it's something you can call flipping the room. Which means I'm sit in front of my computer by my desk right now, and behind me there is a bookshelf and a couch. And basically what is behind me was on the other side of the room, and my desk was over there. So I flipped the room. So everything is flipped. and I can really feel fresh. There is something in it, like a new chapter begins. Let's flip it. Let's start from completely different perspective, or or there is this thing, if things are going worse and worse and worse, the lioness dead, worse and worse, then something flips and suddenly everything is great, is fantastic, everything is in the right place. So yeah, I wanted to support this process, this transformation with flipping the room and also cleaning the room, and I'm still doing that. It's not yet beautiful, but I'm getting there, and already new works are appearing, new ideas. So you will see them soon. So yeah, that's it. Of course, if you have any questions or some topics you would like to hear my take on, I can be how was it? I lost the poem, but it was the man having all the answers, the man who has many answers. So I can play the role of the man with many answers sometimes, and I can offer graciously my deep findings if you want. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for spending time with me, with my art, and through my art, hopefully spending time with yourself. Thank you. See you next time.